Joining us now is the head coach of the Red Raiders, Chris Beard, taking Texas Tech into the national semifinals next Saturday. Chris, this is perhaps the most important thing that has happened as a result of you guys going to the Final Four. How do you anticipate this impacting the number of views and impressions on your viral sensation on Twitter, the Fireside Chats, now that you're a Final Four coach?
You know, that's a great point. So many positives in making the Final Four, but I think at the top of the list, Fireside Chat, we're excited.
What was the big difference in the early part of the season when maybe you expected more of your team than some on the outside did, as opposed to what your team became?
You know, the biggest thing is just expectations with our own group. You know, we sat down last year after the season with our returners and with the new recruits when summer school started, and we're like, look, man, we had a great run last year, but let's not let that define us. Let's try to have our own journey. Let's try to have our own identity. And that's really what these guys have done. We're led by our 4 seniors, you know, 2 returners that played big roles in the Elite 8 team from last year, and the 2 grad transfers. But these 4 guys have done a great job of leadership.
Chris, can you expound on the leadership with especially Mooney and Moretti? You know, it seems like their toughness brings something different to this team.
Yeah, I would agree. You know, we've got good guards. We really do. Culver has gotten a lot of attention this year. You know, first-round pick, maybe a lottery pick, and he deserves every inch that he's gotten. But, you know, really Morrow and Matt have had great seasons. And, you know, simply stated, they're both all-conference players in the Big 12. Matt was a second-team all-conference player, and Morrow was third team. So as good as our league was, you know, it is what it is. We've kind of run with this deal. We got a chip on our shoulder, and everybody's kind of disrespected us. But, you know, that's not the whole story. You know, our 3 main guards were all conference players in the Big 12, and that kind of speaks for itself.
Coach, you had a stretch in the Big 12 where you won 8 in a row. You were making 10 threes a game. Your team improved significantly offensively. Did you make any changes, or did you guys just have a better understanding of where their shots were coming from?
I think it was just the growth of experience, Coach. You know, like being such a new team with our returners playing more impact roles, our new players, including our 2 grad transfers, just kind of getting used to each other. You know, we always said, hey, let's guard at a high rate coming out of the gates, and then we know our offense will get better over time. So I think, you know, it's like people can't praise both. You know, like we're a defensive team, and that's kind of where the identity and notoriety comes. But, I mean, you know, we've averaged almost 80 points a game the last month of the season. Yet last night when we needed it most, we scored 40 points in the second half against Gonzaga. So we've never viewed ourselves as a one-trick pony. You know, we know we can score the ball too.
Chris, the Final Four is this euphoric feeling not only for your players and your staff and all your fans, but how do you turn the page? Celebrate it, but then turn the page and get focused on what's coming up next weekend?
You know, we got an interesting fact in our coaching staff. We've got Glenn Cyprian and Sean Sutton, who both were a part of Oklahoma State's Final Four. So we'll rely on that experience. Just like we told the guys, man, with about 2 or 3 games left in the regular season championship fight, you know, we told our players, hey, look, we've got all these coaches on our staff that have won conference championships before, so let's rely on these guys from experience, and we'll do the same thing with the Final Four. We even last night talking to Sip and Sean, you know, putting some things on a piece of paper, eliminating distractions, practice time, you know, just all the things with the Final Four. But even though we're a team that obviously doesn't have much Final Four experience together, we do have a couple guys on our staff, and we'll rely on that heavily.